And when that person decides to level up, they may be the only person in their circle that is doing it. And it's like, it's so easy to be comfortable with the circle that you're currently in because you see everybody else is happy doing the regular or it's even the mundane routine. But then you're like, man, that got to be more. And then so what happens is you start to step out to the unknown. You start to go beyond into the shadows. And when you do, you find out that you are the light. You find out that you can still see because you are the light. You are. You're starting to shine light into those darker areas because you're like, well, I didn't know this. Everybody behind me didn't know this either. So now you're kind of like, all right, I'm going to settle into this. I can settle in. I can be out here by myself. I can lead the way for other individuals. I can bring back more information. I can give the food of life to my friends. I can do that. If I got to do it my own, if I got to start it, I'm okay with starting it. If I need to be the trendsetter, I'm okay with being the trendsetter. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Talks with Ken. I'm your host, Kendrick. This is the place where motivation lives, inspiration thrives, and personal growth resides. Welcome to the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm happy to have you all. I hope you guys are doing well just as much as I am. It's a beautiful sunny day outside. I've been living on purpose. I've been squeezing everything out of my day, and I hope you guys have been doing that as well. Y'all, I've been trying to incorporate much of my weekend into my week as possible. And with doing that, I have been losing track of days. And because I'm trying to get to that point to where I don't live for the weekend. But some of those times when I'm in the office working and I talk with some of my colleagues, it's easier to be like, man, I can't wait for the weekend, that kind of a deal. But I've been trying to squeeze out all of my 24 hours that I get in order to bring my dreams into fruition. And I hope you guys are doing the same and living life on purpose and continuing to live out your plan and your vision. And y'all, it gets hard. It gets hard. And sometimes you got to be your own help. You got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Like you can't ask someone to help you do that for you. Sometimes you just got to dig deep, hunker down, and continue to move forward because you are trying to live for you. And that is pretty much my conversation today. What happens to you when you start to level up for yourself? What does the individual begin to go through when you decide to live for you? It's not easy. I'm gonna tell you, it's not easy, and a lot of people think it's probably easier than what happens. But I'm gonna go down the list today for to the individual that's aspiring to live out their dreams, not their mom, their dad's dreams, not their spouse's dream, but your dream. There is a you. Whether you have a family, whether you or if you don't, you still need to find out what you like, because you are an individual, and sometimes, especially in the family unit, husbands can forget who they are, wives can forget who they once were. And it's really good to sometimes have that moment to yourself and say, what do I want to do in this very moment? What do I want to do? No, not the laundry, not project at home, but what do I want to do? Not some type of emergency that you got to deal with, but I have time for me, whether it's 15, 30 minutes to an hour. What do I want to do? And even with that's a big part in when you're trying to cultivate your life. In today's episode, I want to further expound what individuals who dare to live and dream for themselves go through. The first one I'll talk about is accountability. They hold themselves accountable to their newer life function, their newer schedules. They say no to a lot of things that they used to say yes to. And that can rub a lot of individuals that are used to having them in that same space, that same regular routine, the wrong way. And just because when you decide, hey, I'm going to do this for me now, I'm not trying to make you feel butthurt about anything, but I'm choosing me in this moment. I'm choosing to be truthful to my dreams and my visions that I have for myself in this moment. And not that you're being rude, not that you're being mean and malicious towards anyone around you. It's only you being truthful to yourself, you showing love to yourself. And again, that's you holding yourself accountable via a schedule. That's you holding yourself accountable via certain arrangements, showing up for yourself, working out for yourself, journaling in the morning for yourself, meditating, praying in the night, with yourself. Those are self-love attributes that can rub a lot of people the wrong way. And that goes into my second point, setting those boundaries. How does that individual go about setting boundaries that probably aren't okay with other individuals, but to you, it works perfect? You've sat down, you've taken a calendar, pen to pad, and you're like, well, I'm going to allot myself 30 minutes to read. I'm going to allot myself 30 minutes to journal. I'm going to allot myself an hour to work out. I'm going to allot myself 2 hours to be with my family. That's you living on purpose. So you got 24 hours. And I always say you don't want to run around aimlessly. So living out on plan, living out on schedule is not a bad thing. That's how you have tangible goals. That's how you set goals. Because again, if you have a dream and you don't put actionable steps behind it, it remains a dream. And the way you do it along the way is self accountability and setting those boundaries with those around you. And that can kind of seem malicious, but no, that's just you showing love for yourself. So when you decide to level up, furthermore, it's going to be a little bit more challenging, but it's going to be a little bit more self-fulfillment in you. And thirdly, overcoming those social conditionings, meaning we're so used to putting everyone else above us, and it's so commonplace to do so. I mean, it happens organically. When you're younger, you've seen your papa, your mima, or your grandpa, your grandma put other individuals above themselves. They gave individuals their last, and you knew they had their last. And so that social conditioning started, in adolescence. That's the right thing to do, right? No, I mean not always. Not I kind of firmly believe in this. I can't pour out of an empty cup. I can't pour out of a cup with holes in it if I'm trying to give you most of me. So selfishly, I've adopted, I'm going to pour out of overflow. I'm going to give out of overflow. And that can work on financial situations. That can work out of mental, spiritual situations. I can't give you what I can't give myself. And if I can't give the best to me, how can you expect to receive the best from me as well? And that's one of those things that aids in burnout. When you're feeling burnt out, overwhelmed, exhausted, you gotta first give that version to yourself. And if you feel that you are burnt out and exhausted, you owe it to yourself to go inward and say, look, why do I feel like this right now? Like lean into it. Why do I feel so burnt out right now? And then now that you kind of self-diagnosing, you can furthermore like, okay, all right, I didn't figure this kink out in my armor. I feel good about this. Boom. Now there's another stripe, another badge that you can add on your chest. And now you can continue to move forward and give the best version of you to someone else. So yes, the thirdly, that social conditioning. It's not wrong to love yourself first. It's not. And when you're in a relationship, your partner can't even get the best version of you if you don't love yourself first. Your children cannot get the best of you if you don't love yourself first. So no, having time to yourself 10, 20, 30 minutes is not selfish. Whatever you got to do, write it down first. Like, what do I like doing? What gives me a spark when I feel down? What thought pulls me out of a negative place? That will give you a little bit more energy to move forward and progress. And fourthly, and you guys have heard me say this before, navigating the uncertainty and fear. And I always say this, run towards what you're afraid of. Doing that will give you a callus in a way, not in a bad way, but it would give you a callus moving forward through tough times or times of uncertainty and the unknown. And when you do that, you prove that you're a lot stronger than what you think you are. And when that person decides to level up, they may be the only person in their circle that is doing it. And it's like, it's so easy to be comfortable with the circle that you're currently in because you see everybody else is happy doing the regular or sometimes even the mundane routine. But then you're like, man, that got to be more. And then so what happens is you start to step out to the unknown. You start to go beyond into the shadows. And when you do, you find out that you are the light. You find out that you can still see because you are the light. You are. You're starting to shine light into those darker areas because you're like, well, I didn't know this. Well, everybody behind me didn't know this either. So now you're kind of like, all right, I'm going to settle into this. I can settle in. I can be out here by myself. I can lead the way for other individuals. I can bring back more information. I can give the food of life to my friends. I can do that. If I got to do it my own, if I got to start it, I'm okay with starting it. If I need to be the trendsetter, I'm okay with being the trendsetter. And you got to be okay with that. You got to be okay sometimes being the black swan. You got to be okay with it. And that leads me to my last point. You also got to deal with being alone, not lonely, but alone. Now, there is a difference. I want to talk about this a little bit more too. There's many times that I've had to be alone to learn a new skill. And that new skill would have me going into a bedroom in the wee hours of the night when the rest of my house is asleep to learn a new skill, to learn a new vernacular, to learn new software. That is being alone. Now, I don't feel lonely. I feel like that is me in training. And as long as I'm me in training, that's me growing. So yeah, now to those individuals that say I'm lonely, not in a hopeless way, but in more of those ways of I'm tired of being by myself. Someone come help. I'm tired of being, feeling as if I'm on a deserted island and I need somebody to save me. It's not that type of feeling at all. It's more of a I'm going through boot camp just right now for me, for my betterment. I'm learning new skills right now for me, my betterment. And I know a lot of people in my circle aren't doing what I'm doing, but this is for my betterment. You got to break out of that click ish type of mentality that was so easy to develop and garner into your personal growth in life via school, the school system. You're used to being in those wolf pack type of situations. And it's so hard to break out of that, and the financially. You see a lot of people going in debt with their credit cards, going on vacations. It's like, well, I guess this is what everybody else do. No, and then the individuals who are living frugally, the ones who are living by way of a plan, seems to stick out like a sore thumb. Living life on purpose, enjoying what they got going on, just because they decided to live a little bit differently. Just because they live a little bit differently, everybody wants the big house on the hill, quote unquote. Everybody wants the big house on the hill. But what about the guys who say, I'm going to sell everything and get a camper? I want to go adventure. Does that mean it's wrong? No, it doesn't mean it's wrong. It means that they've crafted out a plan that works for their life, that feeds their mind and heart and their spirit, and they're embarking on a different type of journey. I mean, I'm enamored with individuals that I see selling everything, moving into a camper, going around the country, or selling a house, moving abroad to experience a place they've never seen, but they've only seen in books or on TV. Those are trendsetters. Those are people who are like, you know what, this is going to be different, but I'm going to try it. Yeah, I'm going to loosely map it out, but I'm going to try it. One more additional thing, and this is probably the most daunting: the burden of self reliance. It can be scary, like I said, but when you have to regulate your own emotions, your own finances, your own planning, your own scheduling, you're living for you. You're walking to the beat of your own drum. If you're tired, who's going to save you? If you don't do it, who's going to do it? If you don't plan it, who's going to plan it? We're so used to others planning and mapping out our lives, we leave all the heavy lifting to someone else. And I'm here to tell you, you got to get used to relying on you. It's okay. You have to get used to relying on you. There's no manual that's going to help you be you. You got to figure this thing out for yourself. Let your mind and heart lead you to do what's right. Let your intuition lead you to do what's right for you. So the last one is really self-reliance, and it's hard. But it was the old saying: if a man don't work, he don't eat. So if you have that, what can I get out of today? How can I feel my today? What steps can I do today that's going to help me get to my end goal? That's self-reliance. So live out your life on purpose. Live out your life on a plan, and you will get to your eventual end goal. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be out there by yourself. It's okay to be a trendsetter. It's okay to be alone, but not lonely. Craft it out. And sometimes you got to go inward, build that infrastructure around yourself to allow you that space to get you to the point in which you need to be. What I'm trying to get at today is that when you're out crafting a new life and a new world for yourself, it's going to be scary. It's going to be daunting. You're going to feel like you're messing up every single day. You're not going to feel comfortable. Nobody's going to be as excited as you are to go on this journey. You're going to be probably deemed to be different. What are they doing? What do they know? But it's okay. You're doing it for you. And then when you do it consistently for you, you're going to build that backbone. You're going to build more of a resilient spirit, and you're going to be fine in the end. So live with a surety that you're doing the right thing when you decide to live for you. Times will get hard, but you will persevere. All right. I didn't keep your attention long today, guys, but this is something that I really wanted to get out because a lot of individuals are sitting on the stool of do nothing just from fear, just from being deemed different, not wanting to be different. I'm here to tell you today, push past fear because growth and prosperity lives on the other side. You can do it. That's why you tune in to me. You can do it. So this is all for today's conversation. Until our next sit down, this is your boy Kendrick. Peace.